Oh, yes, legends. How's everybody doing? I hope you're doing absolutely fantastic today. Let's analyze the situation here for the price of Bitcoin, also mainly Ethereum, okay? And maybe we can take a look at some altcoins. I do have a lot to talk about today, guys, so make sure to absolutely destroy that like button on your way in. I'm going to go through the comment section right away in the next coming seconds. Let's get the charts open here, ready with test 1, 2. Audio good? Yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Let's go, legends. I'm going to go through the comment section. We've got Bitcoin here. I want to ask on a poll, right? You know, do we feel the wick? Of course, we have a little bit of a difference in price when we take a look at the spot exchanges such as Coinbase and also Bybit, right? Or other futures exchanges. Maybe on Binance, it's slightly lower than Bybit. Are we going to fill the wick? Are we going to fill the entire wick? That's something that I want to ask on a poll here. I'll go through the comment section right away, guys, okay? But let's ask the community. Will we fill the wick, okay, on Bitcoin? Yes. No. Yes on Coinbase. Let me know, guys. Yes on all exchanges, guys. Let me know right away. Will we fill the Bitcoin wick? Let me know down below, okay, on the poll. And we'll go through the comment section right away. Let me know, guys. What is your vote? You've seen my vote already. Let me know. Let me know. I mean, this yes and yes on all exchanges are kind of the same thing, right? So, yeah, that vote could have gone away. We didn't need that yes over here. No, yes on Coinbase, yes on all exchanges. This yes is kind of irrelevant, but I guess people are saying yes here, mainly on all exchanges. Let's go right away through comment section and then we'll dive in through Bitcoin, guys. I got a packed one today, and it's simple, right? We keep it simple. It's a, you know, short term. We can have several movements, right? Let's be clear on this. Short term, we can have some movements here, but the probabilities based on the information that we have on the chart is that we are in a large corrective structure since this all-time high created in August. That's what we know. That's what we know with the information. So we are looking for new all-time highs at some point in the next coming weeks. Will it be November? Will it be December? Santa rally, Christmas rally? Right? You know, we don't know the exact timing because this correction could still take another few weeks. For the moment, this movement down seemed aggressive. We got a lot of people calling for the bear market coming. The top is in for Bitcoin. But based on Elliot Wave theory and the information that we have, this is part of a large correction, and the probabilities, because this is a probability game, guys, right? Short term, we could have a little bit of action. We're going to talk about different scenarios that could happen, and you need to tick them off as we go through, right? Oh, this one can't happen, so we tick that one off. Oh, this one can't happen because we've hit this Fibonacci level, and that invalidates this scenario, so we tick it off. And the beauty about Elliot Wave theory, there is a moment that you're ticking off so many scenarios that you just left with one or two. And that's when you want to take your good trading decisions, right? When we take a look at higher time frames. So the probabilities are to hit new all-time high, they are higher than actually this being the top, and we start the bear market throughout the next coming months, right? The same case for Ethereum. Ethereum, still the probabilities based on the information that we have on the rejection from all-time high is that there is high probability to hit all-time high on Ethereum. And this is not the top, right? So now we need to figure out what scenarios do we have left on the lower time frame, 4 hourly, 1 hourly, right? What scenarios, what movements do we have left till we get up to all-time high? And that's how we build the map, right? Because this is like a game. You need to be the best at the game. You need to figure out mapping the situation to actually get that highest probability scenario where you win the game, right? You win, you make a winner, right? So that's what we're going to do today, guys. Mainly focus on Bitcoin and Ethereum. And let's go through the comment section. First of all, okay, we're going to talk about the Ethereum BTC chart, which looks amazing. It looks amazing, guys. I love this. It looks very, very good. Very corrective price action. High probability this is corrective. Okay, high probability that this is corrective on the Ethereum BTC chart. So I'm actually looking for Ethereum to outperform Bitcoin in the next coming weeks. You might see Bitcoin going lower and it's percentage wise, right? And Ethereum not going that low, and Bitcoin pumping, but Ethereum pumping even more than Bitcoin, right? Ethereum pumping more than Bitcoin. So Ethereum BTC chart looks amazing. We have a good chance that Ethereum will outperform Bitcoin on its movements to the upside in the next coming weeks. And we need to talk about it. We need to talk about that, right? I have here the total market capitalization, which I am kind of worried. I think there is, I am calling for a possible market crash into 2026. It might extend to 2027, right? But I think in between 2026 and 2027, there should be a big major stock market corrective move. And obviously this will impact the crypto space. And if you do take a look at the beginning stages of crypto, in this case, it's counting 2014, 2015, because before that, there wasn't really many cryptos. Most of them did launch a few years after Bitcoin. Bitcoin was the number one, right? So we have a possible completed cycle. We have a completed crypto cycle when we consider Elliot Wave theory for the total crypto market cap, for the total 3, which is altcoins, basically all of the crypto. We're in the last stage and we could have a multi-year bear market, not the 1 year bear market that we are used to for all of those people that started in crypto in the last 5-6 years, such as myself. We possibly are going to see a much extended bear market, especially if we do see a bear market on the stock market, which I do believe is going to happen maybe 2026 or 2027. I do see the rally extending a little bit longer for the next few months. That is without a doubt, we are trending on stock market. But I do see a multi-year bear market very close to us, guys, based on the charts. Okay? And you can see how there's so much uncertainty worldwide with the economy, right? Different scenarios, happening worldwide that we're not going to talk about on the stream. So there's a lot of uncertainty around the world. First of all, comment section, and we'll dive into Bitcoin or Ethereum first. I'll let you know. Let me know in the comment section, which one shall we do first? Bitcoin or Ethereum? I'll let you choose, guys. And as we go through the comment section, say hello to the beautiful community. Staffer1, El Professor is back. Much love to you, brother. Slap the like button gently on your way in. Let's see how many likes. Let's do a like recount before we go through the comment section. I got a packed one here for you guys. You know what we like to do. We like to take a look at levels, possible Elliot Wave scenarios on the lower time frame. And for the moment, if you want something clear, it's always nice to get someone on YouTube, right? Because a lot of people are talking about moving averages, Bollinger Bands, overbought, oversold, internal scalping scenarios. But a lot of people want to know, is this the top of the bull run for Bitcoin? Is the top in for Ethereum? And I can clearly say that the probabilities are higher that we take our all-time high again at some point. That's the clearest information that we have. All-time high is expected again. For Bitcoin and Ethereum, we can take a look at some other altcoins. We know altcoins, guys. Wow. I don't know about altcoins. We would expect some kind of a recovery for altcoins, but we focus mainly on Bitcoin and Ethereum, right? They're the leaders of the crypto market. Solana's done pretty good. Let's accept that. Anyway, let's go continue through the comment section. Justin Trades, hello legends, much love to you. Mako, good morning, Andy and friends. 𝗞𝗔, LFG. Our Pink, good morning. Victor Hugo, much love, brother. Much love to you. Hope you're doing well. Hope everybody's doing well, is healthy. And the Friday dump that we had was a little scratch for me. I hope it was a little scratch for most of you as well, at least the ones that are following, you know, my analysis, my content, my risk management education, which is muy importante. Okay, I think a lot of people got caught with the Q4 altcoin season, right? Bullish for Bitcoin, bullish for altcoins, October, and maybe some people got caught on that. I'm sure there are lots of, you know, well, many people, it was inevitable, right? I hope you guys that follow me, my risk management education, stay grounded. I hope most of the people that follow me actually played defensively, right? Played defensively. Overton, Andy, do you think Overton will be able to replace all blockchain networks we're used to and change the rules of the game? Yeah. Everything follows BTC. If you know where BTC will go, you know where everything goes. Very true. I would say stock market first, right? Stock market first, Bitcoin next. Unfortunately, Bitcoin is still quite correlated to the stock market, and stock market is over 100 trillion market, right? Bitcoin's only just above 2 trillion, so still very small. So yeah, I would say stock market first, Bitcoin next, and then the rest, right, of cryptos. It feels like the end, says Yudaman. It does, right? With this massive drop. Time for Ethereum to lead the market, says Mezzo. I do believe so. I do believe so. We did have Ethereum having a pretty awesome, you know, July, August, where it was outperforming Bitcoin, because Ethereum did outperform Bitcoin July and August, right? That's why we reached all-time high, massive percentage pumps, and Bitcoin wasn't doing that much. I do think we're going to see Ethereum leading the way also in the next coming weeks at some point, guys. I know it sounds unrealistic. I know people are damaged based on the drop that we had, and it could be filling the wick still. We could see a little bit more local downside, and people are just not buying it, right? This has been too aggressive. I know, guys. I get the feeling, right? A lot of people are hurt based on this move, especially on altcoins, and they don't want to believe it, which makes it the best moment, right? The best moment to start believing something good is that Bitcoin funding rates flipped negative. They flipped negative, guys, throughout the last week, which is good. You know, every time we see negative funding rate, we are still uptrending. Market is still forming a corrective structure for many weeks. Okay, this is actually pretty good. This is actually good that we see a negative funding rate. We usually get a reversal at some point. It does take a few weeks. Of course, this is the daily time frame, but when we flip negative on the funding rate, it is good. We can test the lows again. That's totally fine, but it marks a local bottom, and it means that, you know, the lows, you know, you have a good chance that you're not going to get a successful breakdown. In this case on Bitcoin, it would be a successful breakdown below the wick lows, right? We are not expecting a successful breakdown. I am not expecting, okay? I'm not saying we, I'm talking for myself. I do not expect a successful breakdown from this major move. Of course, we can revisit and get a bounce. We can revisit again. That is totally fine. I'm not saying that we cannot drop a couple of $1,000s beneath this level, but I would not expect a severe move, right? Like this one. below 107K. Okay, that's what the probabilities are saying based on this information, which we'll go through right away. I do not expect a successful breakdown beneath the lows that we formed on Friday. So that's another piece of information that we have, right? You kind of pile up information when you do the analysis. For the moment, we still have high probability for new all-time highs. It's going to take a few weeks, guys. Let's be honest here. I don't expect it to shoot up here in the next few days. But overall, in the next few weeks, we expect the lows to not get a successful breakdown if it is revisited. That's another great piece of information. So low probability to get a successful breakdown from the lows that was formed on Friday, and high probability that we do hit all-time high in, several weeks, let's say. So you get that information, and then you can come up with some strategies and some, possibilities for your trading setups. Let's continue here. We got a couple of super chats here coming in. Navdeep, how are you doing, brother? Your Ethereum price prediction by end this month and year. Well, price prediction, I have to say, at least get above all-time high, right? If we take a look at Fibonacci extensions and based on Elliot Wave theory, as mentioned, I think we mentioned this, 5,700 would be like the minimum target zone. Minimum is it's get above all-time high, okay? We can double top. I am expecting all-time highs for Ethereum, but let's say in between $5,000 and $6,000, guys. Let's be conservative here. Could it shoot up to $7,000, $8,000? Absolutely. Why not? A fifth wave can be extremely explosive, but also a fifth wave can double top above the third wave. So you get that failed auction kind of scenario, right? It breaks above it, a few $100s. I'm going to start getting out aggressively, guys, because I do think we are in the last wave on Ethereum. Okay, the last wave that I do expect it to be formed in the next coming weeks. I think it's going to be the last one based on a 5-wave move up here. And what is interesting considering Ethereum is also when we do take a look at the weekly time frame, right? And the start of Ethereum, basically, which was literally 2014-15, when we get the logarithmic, this is basically what we got, right? Ethereum going from a few dollars with the first leg to the upside. And it's the same thing for the crypto market cap. I think we are building up a full-on market cycle on the higher time frame, and we should be seeing a multi-year bear market, guys. I'm sorry to say, but I think it's not a bad idea to really aggressively take profits. I mean, I bought Ethereum. Most of my Ethereum have been bought at the $1,000 range. So, I mean, the gains are not massive. I did buy back here some Ethereum, but because I had more capital throughout 2022 and 2023, I bought more, right? But, my first Ethereum was bought at $100 back in 2018-19. I did manage to catch some Ethereum at $100 on the C19 crash. However, it was just a few Ethereum. It wasn't much. I didn't have much capital. I was heavily invested already. And as I had more capital eventually in this zone in 2022 and 23, I managed to accumulate more Ethereum. Making a 2-3x in 2-3 years, yes, it's not, if it is life-changing if you put several $100,000, right, invested, or a few million. Obviously, if you put, $5,000, $10,000, it is money, but it's not going to change your life, right? So it really, really depends, right, on how much you've invested. But a lot of people are happy with a 2-3x, right? If you invested significant capital. So, I think we have a full-on cycle here on Ethereum, which is eventually like a, almost a 10-year cycle, you would arguably discuss, right? Since the creation of Ethereum back in 2014, 15, I think it was, where you have a big explosive wave here, your first initial wave, right? And we're forming a contracting diagonal, and we're at the last wave here to the upside. Can it reach $10,000? I mean, it can. Maybe we have an explosive euphoric breakout in the next few months. But I'm going to be very conservative, guys, because the people that have big expectations, they're the ones that usually hold a multi-year bear market, right? So I've already sold 15%, and I'm pretty confident that we are going to reach all-time high based on the analysis for the moment. The moment we get below 3,200, I'm going to be a little bit skeptical. I'm going to start being defensive. But overall, it is looking pretty good still for new all-time highs on Ethereum. But I think we have a full cycle that is on the formation, and I wouldn't expect the breakout. I'm very skeptical about Ethereum hitting $10,000 or $20,000, right? Like some, big famous investors out there are saying, I'm not buying it, guys. If this is like 100K Bitcoin back in 2021. It never happened. It peaked out below 70K, and we went to that bear market, right? So I'm not too confident about these major explosive breakout, price targets. I'm really playing the conservative game, and I'm already partially out of the market, right? So price target from that super chat, all-time high. Let's see how we break out from all-time high. If it starts chopping and we get a double top failed breakout, we're really going to have to pay attention to Elliot Wave theory on the movement, guys, to the upside here on Ethereum. Okay? We're going to have to identify where the low is in. I shorted Ethereum very successfully at all-time high and made significant gains, about $90,000 on that movement down throughout September. And the main reason was Elliot Wave theory gives you that edge of realizing when we are close to a top, very, very close to a top. And of course, if you have your wave 1, wave 2, inside of the wave 3, the most explosive move happened in this zone, right? Later on, we had a pretty good explosive move up here. But you realize 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, is this still 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 right there? You realize that this is really stretching. It's really stretching, and a failed auction here from all-time high of 2021 was the perfect setup that I got in here in late August to profit in September. So we're going to have to identify when this correction is going to finish, and there's several scenarios still. There's a few scenarios, and we're going to have to try and spot when the next wave is forming, because inside of a fifth wave, right, inside of a wave 1 or a wave 2, you are going to see a 5-wave move. You will see a 5-wave move to the upside, okay? You got a 5-waver here, double 1, 2, double 4, 5. Forming a 5-wave structure. You have the biggest move in the middle most of the times. The biggest move here also in the middle with the highest amount of volume. 1, 2s, 3, 4, 5. We will, it will not be extremely hard to identify. And obviously in your 5th wave, when we would detect the biggest move, potentially it's going to be the one that breaks out from all-time high and it goes actually to higher levels. We don't know. We need to see it. But when we get the highest amount of volume and then the choppiness and the slow momentum to the upside is when we want to get out. I mean, I want to get out basically, right? So will that be at 5,500 or will it be at $7,000? And, I don't know. We need to see the information, and that information will be given, right? It will be shown on the charts. And that's the main reason why I shorted here. I was analyzing this throughout YouTube and also with the legends This was a short position that was talked about in the pro community, also in the VIP back in late August. Guys, I am looking to short. My stop was 5,200. I added to the position once we got the 4-hourly candle close beneath the previous all-time high, and which was, yeah, there we go. And when I analyzed the extension of this move and counting the waves on the lower time frame, I was like, this is unlikely to successfully move to higher levels. It's likely going to fail the breakout from the 2021 all-time high. And that does usually happen on the first attempt, right? It's very, very common for the first attempt to not break out from an all-time high from a few years ago. So, just realizing how this is very likely a good short position. And I was aiming for the low 4K levels, right? Which did happen after a few weeks. So we're going to have to see that wave at some point in the coming weeks, and how powerful it is, right? So right now we have a very large complex WXY on the formation, which could extend for another 1-2 weeks easily, even with the potential of testing the lows. I think that the lows are going to hold. I think the lows are probably not going to be tested in the case of Ethereum. Okay, I think we can go to the low 3,800, 3,700, which is going to be very, very interesting. Something that I'm going to talk about today. But there is a chance that this could be the low, based on the information that we have. So we'll go through that in today's live stream, guys. Super important to understand, figure out where we are at the moment with Ethereum. I'm more excited about Ethereum than Bitcoin, if I'm honest. Bitcoin, yeah, I think that there's a good chance that we do revisit the lows on Coinbase, at least. I think there is a good chance. I don't see this price action as an impulse. Okay, for the moment it is a 3-waver. Of course you can form a 3-wave down, and now we form another double zigzag situation. That's going to be very bullish, as explained on yesterday's stream. I'm in favor of coming down to the lows for the moment, guys. We've got a very aggressive move down. The movements to the upside are looking corrective. However, this can turn into a 3-wave move down. You could form a double zigzag. You got zigzag up, corrective structure in X, and another double zigzag up in a wave Y, right? So you have a double zigzag here, and this would only be extremely bullish for Bitcoin. I'll try and map the situation here with you guys later. But if we get well above these highs, which I would expect a rejection, it would actually be very, very good. Very, very good. Just increasing probabilities that we do hit all-time high. I'll try and map the situation here in the next coming minutes with you on Bitcoin. You want to revenge trade ICP? Yeah, it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. It is what it is on ICP. I got a heavy spot bag, and it is down. It is down eventually. Okay, so do not get caught in a short here. Don't get wrecked. It says cool hand Luca. Yeah, amigo. Much love to you. We'll take a look at Avalanche later on. Phantom, multi-year bear market. Time to sell. Yeah, I do believe so, guys. When shit hits the fan, as they say, right? I think it can get a little ugly, guys. It can get a little ugly. I am very much in favor in the next, in between 26 and 27, that the United States is going to protect the dollar at all cost. At all cost. When I say all cost, they're willing to do whatever it takes to protect the world reserve currency. And what does all cost mean? Well, that they will put their own country in a deep recession if they have to protect the dollar. That's my opinion, guys, right? Because you might think everybody's on the camp of, inflation, the dollar, devaluation, the dollar's going to die. I think they will do whatever it takes to protect the dollar, guys. And eventually, if that is the case, you know, many markets will tumble. So yeah, that's my personal opinion, guys. Of course, you might think, well, inflation's always going to be there, but I think they'll try and keep it as low as possible, as they have been doing so. But we might get a spike in inflation maybe in the next few months. Okay, we get some cuts and interest rate cuts, and we might see some money printing activity maybe for a few months, which can eventually give us that last leg up on Bitcoin and Ethereum, right, and some cryptos, and the stock market eventually. But stock market is not looking healthy at all. It's just gone absolutely parabolic. So it's just everything that goes up like this, guys, right? When you take a look at the stock market on the monthly chart, yeah, there is nothing in the world. There's nothing that goes up with this amount of power with at some point an immediate crash down. There's nothing, guys, in the world. Even life. We're born, we grow up, we get old, and we die, right? So it's we go up and we go down. Everything in the world that has this kind of chart, anything, guys, there's no infinite growth. There's no such thing as infinite growth. It doesn't exist. So this is not looking very nice. Yeah, it could extend for several more months, maybe a year or two, but yeah, this movie right over here doesn't look like it's gonna have a happy ending. So we just want to be a little bit cautious, have a good diversification, have a bit of everything: gold, Bitcoin, cash. You need to kind of cover a little bit of everything, because yeah, there's no such thing as infinite growth in a parabola, right? And since the 2008 crash that we had, well, we've had an insane 15-year bull run. And if you do take a look at the SPX, there's a lot of, I've seen this speculation also throughout other analysts about the about the 100-year cycle, right? Kind of had a 100-year cycle since the crack of 1929. Are we approaching? We're almost approaching 100 years since that major, depression stage. Is there such a thing of a 100-year cycle theory? It's just interesting. Some things to take into consideration. Anyway, we're not here to speculate on that. We're not here to speculate. We're here to take a look at Bitcoin. We're here to take a look at Ethereum. We've said hello to a lot of the people that have been joining. Yeah, ICP, we got spanked on that one. I think a recovery. Dying is not going down. Okay, well, I mean life, right? I mean life. Dying is not going down. It's part of life, right? But I'm just saying, it's just, if you put somebody's life in a chart, you go up and you go down, right? And any chart, guys, there's no such thing as infinite growth. If you see any chart from, apart from the stock market, in the last few hundred or even 1,000 years, everything that goes up goes down. Everything, guys. There's no chart that has infinite growth, except for the stock market at the moment. That does look like infinite growth. We would need a couple of more centuries to confirm that one. Very true. Just put chart upside down and it's very neutral dying process. Much love to everybody. Staffer1, much love to you, brother. Bybit, the most solid exchange, in my opinion, that there is out there since 2018. You got 30k bonus, guys. Check it out here. You got it in the comment section as well, in the description. Bybit, for me, has always been number one, even though Bluffin and Weeks are doing a great job, because they just require an email and a password to sign up. US depth chart. Only up, brody. Only up, baby. SPX top 500 companies. Obviously, it's parabolic, population growth and people need to eat tech entertainment. Yeah, it is, but it doesn't mean it's going to go up forever. It doesn't mean it's going to go up forever. Well, thanks for not answering my question, Rocky. Let me take a look here. Rocky, where are you? Okay, I have a question and please answer. Okay, I got you, brother. If BTC comes to fill the wick or sweep the lows, because down to approximately 102K, does that mean that XRP can come down, fill the bottom of its wick? It really does depend on the Bitcoin dominance. So your question is, if we do come down on Bybit to fill the lows, can XRP, we can pull out XRP here just for you, brother. And I mean, I wouldn't think so. I wouldn't think so. Okay. This has been a pretty brutal move down on XRP. Can it be filled? Well, inevitably, of course it can. Well, of course it can. Yeah, if Bitcoin dropped, I mean, this would have to be, this has been a major liquidation event. I don't think that Bitcoin would have enough power. Okay, I don't think that XRP would have enough power, even though if Bitcoin does get down below the wick, it's not much of a move. You're going to see a few altcoins, if the Bitcoin dominance maintains strong, a 4-5% drop on Bitcoin can make a 10-20% drop on some altcoins, right? I would not expect a 30+% drop if Bitcoin drops 5% on XRP. These are just special events. They're just major liquidity events, okay? They are unusual. They happen once every year or every other year, right? So I would say no. If Bitcoin drops below 107K to 106, maybe 105, I don't think at the same moment it will make XRP to drop beneath this wick at $1.80. I don't think it will have enough power, even though if Bitcoin drops 4-5% from current price levels. And that's my personal opinion on that, of course, right? Anyway, we ain't going there, says Suzanne. Hello, everyone, says Suzanne. Much love to you, Suzanne. Always joining here, the live stream. Much love to you. Anyway, let's go. Long's ready for a moon-like pump to the end of the year, says Cool Hand Luke. I'm bullish on Ethereum. Ethereum is the most bullish chart. Ethereum does look more bullish than Bitcoin, if you ask me. Ethereum BTC chart looks more bullish. We have one more leg up on the Ethereum BTC chart, which is the fifth wave. So everything is looking pretty corrective. This does look more corrective. The only way to fit in here a 5-wave structure is with a expanding diagonal, which they are rare. You never prefer them, especially in a major uptrend rally. And a WXY here fits better, which you're always going to give the highest probability. So we are expecting the Ethereum BTC chart to get that full-on reversal at some point in the next coming weeks, to claim the highs of August, outperforming Bitcoin. We just got down between the 382 and 50% Fibonacci, which is the common area. We talked about this many weeks ago when we were trading in this zone. This is why I shorted Ethereum. I would like Ethereum BTC, and even Ethereum to come at least down to the 382 from this price zone, considering a wave 4. And the most common area to find support based on a wave 4, keeping things simple, is in between the 382 and the 50%. So far so good, right? We went down there on Friday and got a pretty nice reactionary bounce on the Ethereum BTC chart. So everything's pointing out that, this is looking good. Golden pocket, not to be hit, preferably, right? Which is at the 0.03 here. I think this is not going to be hit. Okay, this would be the invalidation for the wave 4. So we want to maintain above that golden pocket, and so far so good. Let's take a look here at the comment section. What happened to Pumptober, says Phantom? Well, yeah, it was Traptober. It was Traptober, right? Like the live stream, guys, and much love for the TA, Suzanne Ross. Much love to you. Andy Fetch AI bullish. I have no idea. We can take a look at that in a few minutes. Okay, let's do Bitcoin. We haven't done Bitcoin first, guys. Bitcoin is the king. Bitcoin is the king. Bitcoin got a major drop, okay, on Friday. What happened to altcoins? What happened to Fetch AI? What happened to it? It got obliterated. You know, there's nothing we can say about these altcoins, guys. Altcoins, Fetch AI, kind of got into the bear market already since the highs of 2024. Bull run was in 2024, guys, for altcoins. Yeah, there's nothing we can do about this. What can we say? Bitcoin, Ethereum are the leaders of the market. So we need to focus on them, right? We need to focus on them. That's what we're going to do. This will pump. Scamtober, says Avi. Yeah, Avi Yoshi. Then dump. This will pump and then dump. Yeah, let's do BTC. I think dump to 107.5k is possible. Okay, so let's go through the price of Bitcoin. We're gonna go on Coinbase, all right? Because I like Bybit based on volume levels. But when we talk about lows and highs, when we consider Elliot Wave theory, we got a little bit of a problem right now with the futures exchange. I like Bybit based on volume profile and levels, naked pointer controls, okay? But with this wick, when we consider of Elliot Wave theory, I think we need to switch to a spot exchange such as Coinbase to consider lows and highs. What we do have here from the bounce, okay? Let's go to the 5-minute time frame, right? Let's start off with a higher time frame, sorry, and then zoom in. Let's start off with a higher time frame. When we do take a look at Bitcoin, major rally since April, big pump, correction, pump, correction, pump again here, right? I like to see this one as the 3rd, 4th, and 5th wave, and that all of this is part of a corrective structure. We were very vocal about, I do not like this to be the low to get a successful breakout above all-time high. I do not like this low after this 5-wave move up to get a successful breakout on Bitcoin here. And yeah, very skeptical about this situation. It's very shallow, very quick in time. And obviously, we had an epic rally throughout April and August, right? This is not a healthy pullback to fly later on, right? It's just not the most common thing. Well, we've been proven that it's not the common thing with this epic rejection that we got from all-time high. So, you know, we understand that the analysis based on this being the low, you know, was actually right? This is not a good low to fly later on. So we need to extend the range. We need to extend the correction in timing. So when we do get this information, what is good for the market is that we've moved up in a 3-waver. We understand that. You know, this is bullish. Moving from this, you know, corrective structure in a 3-waver is actually good on the higher time frame. So the information that we have here are a few scenarios. We have the ABC flat, which was a general idea that we had. The general idea that we had a few weeks ago, right? We were aware that this could possibly, I think I got it here somewhere, right? We were aware of the rejection and coming to fill 107k, the potential of coming down here, guys. after this movement up. This is an unsustainable move, right? Yes, there is a bullish case, but, you know, pay close attention. This could happen. So we got that scenario right now. So does that mean that, okay, this is the end of an ABC? Is this the low? Is this the low? And I have to say, it wouldn't be too common for this scenario for this to be the low, because inside of a C wave of a flat, pay attention here, inside of a C wave of the flat, you want a 5-wave move down, right? You want a 5-waver. So the biggest move down, you want to label it as your wave 3. That means that this dead cat bounce, you know, you want to potentially label it as your wave 4. So I'm a bit in favor of a flat. I would prefer a flat. If we do not form a flat here and we move up, we are looking at another structure that I will be talking about. It would be more bullish. We would have full confidence that probabilities would just increase in percentage that we are going to hit all-time high. But I think the ideal scenario would be actually coming down to fill the lows, right? And getting like a fake out here. It would be ideal. Of course, there are some levels to take into consideration for intraday setups, for intraday trading. But for this scenario to play out in an ABC flat, what we would need when we do zoom in on the 1 hourly time frame, as we do label the biggest move with the highest amount of volume, always you prioritize it as a wave, potential wave 3. Then eventually the bounce, you want it to reject in between the 382, maybe 50% Fibonacci from your latest lower highs, which is kind of the case here. If you take this one or this one, we're going to get this one just for the potential of another 4 in 5 later on, because there is a possibility that you have a 1-2, 1-2 here. You got your third wave. So far, 382, right, is the zone where the market is peaking out in the last few days. Golden pocket is your invalidation. You don't want golden pocket to be hit for a wave 4. So in an ideal world, you know, you want to see the price roll over here and without hitting the golden pocket to revisit the lows, right? You might get a little bounce here and then, you know, basically, you know, claim the low throughout the next few days. That would be ideal, and that would be much easier for a swing position, right? We are speculating on the B wave here and the C wave. Now, this C wave can be a little bit punchy. It can be a little bit distracting, difficult. You know, how many times will we revisit the low, right? Because you might think, I'm going to get into a long position. Once we revisit and we create a swing failure pattern, right? We might go to 106, 105K, and then get the bounce, right? And then we want to be cautious here, because on this bounce, after claiming the low, claiming that liquidity again, right? Because I think also you're going to get liquidity here inevitably, right? You could revisit the low again. And the main reason why is because you do have, you know, kind of a double 1-2 here. There is a good chance that you have 2 1-2s, 3, and you want 2 4-5s. So I don't care. You know, I would be very much happy to speculate already on the first double bottom, because it might just be one move down and then you actually recover, right? But I want to manage risk. I want to be defensive. I'll be taking a look at the data, the price action very closely as we do get the price action. This will be informed throughout the Legends Pro community eventually on Telegram, if you are interested in that, just to have a little bit of more updates and you know, realizing what I'm looking for to play the safe game here. You have the link down below, okay? It's in the middle. Join the Legends Pro community. And we'll be going through this carefully. I will tell the people when I'm going into the safe trade, right? I want to get into the safe trade. So the one that, you know, potentially gives me 6 figures, right? So looking for that swing trade, but I'm not in a hurry, guys. You know, not in a hurry. very, very slow, patient. I want the best information to get into that trade. And it might not happen. This might not happen. So we want to be cautious here because we could get a 4 in a 5 and fourth wave in, fifth wave, and another 4 in 5 to test the lows again, right? Which would eventually, I would be extremely interested to look for longs. Double, triple bottom on the higher time frame is one scenario that could happen here. But what I do expect is not a successful breakdown. I do not expect a successful breakdown from the lows of Friday. So yeah, you can drop down a few $1,000s. That's all good. That's okay. The same happened. I successfully longed the lows at 114, 115K area, realizing that a successful breakdown beneath these lows is unlikely, guys. We did drop a couple of $1,000s. That's okay. This is expected. But I successfully longed here this throughout end of July and August to claim all-time highs where I took most of the profits. Anybody that's been following here the channel in the last few months does know very well that I successfully longed this Bitcoin move up to all-time high because we understood that this is corrective price action. Highly likely, right? Highly likely this is corrective environment. And if we move down beneath the lows, I do not expect a successful follow-through breakdown, right? So revisiting it and going down a few $1,000s is okay. It would actually be nice, giving you the best entry zones, right? Recovery. We analyzed this price action very nicely. This movement down was corrective. This was awesome, awesome, awesome time. Very, very good time. Actually made some really nice gains throughout August based on this long position to all-time high. So the main reason I'm pointing this out, guys, is because it's understanding why a successful breakdown beneath this low was highly anticipated back in July. I was very much in favor of saying, I don't think, unlikely that we're going to get an aggressive move down from here. So the same theory comes to this. Yes, I am in favor of coming down and filling the wick. That is very much a scenario that could happen. And it would be the preferred scenario. But based on the information that we have from moving down from all-time high, and you might think this is a bunch of BS, guys. If you do think so, you can, go and follow somebody else that is using moving averages and Bollinger Bands, right? And, using little triangles on the movements to get into a little quick trade. You can do that. But we're talking about probabilities in a higher time frame here, right? Which is most important. And then we'll zoom in through the lower time frame for some levels. But I understand that there's low probability in breaking down strongly here because the big move happened, right? The big move happened, and there's only going to be an opportunity here because you either take it or you don't take it. Because once the price, if it were to form another low here, two lows or not, when it decides to go, then yeah, you're going to become bullish when you see the price moving up $10,000, or will you take action down here? Right? Because yeah, it will be eventually, it will be bullish when the price action is telling you it's bullish, but you want to be in the move, right? You want to be in the move, right? I want to be in the move. You want to be in the move. So you need to understand the technicals here, which is low probability of successfully breaking down beneath the low of Friday on spot on Coinbase. And, there's a simple reason why. You had your little downtrend structure here that could have a few 1-2s. You have the big movement. And after such an aggressive move down, which you label as a wave 3, especially this massive move down, that I think is it's the biggest move that we've seen on Bitcoin in 24 hours, which is on some exchanges $20,000, right? I would not expect such an aggressive sell-off here at this zone. Of course, anything can happen. Anything can happen at the end of the day, guys. We're just talking about low probabilities. the big move already happened, and you always want to label it most commonly as a wave 3. So we want to pay attention. We want to see some reclaims of the low of Friday. But I can tell you it's either likely going to be one breakdown, one fake breakdown. And after that one fake breakdown, it's either going to be, recovery later on, or test the lows one more time and then full on recovery. So that's my main question here. Will it be one double bottom, or will it be a triple bottom? That's the main question that I have here at this zone if we come down and revisit the lows. But what I am realizing that a full-on recovery is what is likely. So we don't have a crystal ball, guys. Here we can just talk about a few scenarios that could happen, right? And we need to be ready and taking action once we get the opportunity. And be defensive, because there will be some people that could long in this area. They do not play defensive. They might get stopped out, and then the price leaves without them, which that's what the market likes to do. Market doesn't want you to join and make gains. So it's a pretty easy to understand. Oh, we're going to double bottom. Well, let's all long together. And you're getting the price action to pump to make you euphoric and think that it's going to recover from here, but it decides to claim the lows again. And then this is the good one, right? Which happens a lot. And in this case, by understanding Elliot Wave theory, I understand that a triple bottom is possible because you have 2 1-2s, 1 2 1 2. And if you fill the lows of Friday, lots of people will be aping in the double bottom. And it will likely get a nice rally of a few $1,000s just to get more people aping in. To only just form a lower high and sweep those people, especially the ones that are aping in the bounce, saying, oh my goodness, I'm going to miss the bounce. I missed the double bottom. They're all entering here on the hype. And then just to smack them out to then get the rally later on. So a triple bottom here is a good scenario, is a very, very possible scenario. Just understanding that we formed a possible double 1-2 here, right? I want to participate even on the first double bottom. I don't care. Because, if I do get stopped out, I manage risk very well. I'll probably exit before losing, getting stopped out. I will really pay attention to the price action. But I don't care. I know that this stop loss, either break even or at a small loss, is going to pay me off later on. But I'm not missing this shot. I'm not going to miss this shot. So, that's one scenario, okay? It's one of the scenarios which has taken over 10 minutes to explain. But I think it's important to really understand, right? How also the psychology works, right? Because I think a lot of people are wanting a double bottom, right? Fill the wick and then go to Valhalla, right? Well, I just want to let you know that a triple bottom is very, very much possible. And the whole reason why a triple bottom is possible here throughout the next, give or take 1 to 2 weeks, is purely based because you can count a double 1-2. And if you have a double 1-2 after a 3, you're expecting a double 4-5. So yeah, it's one scenario. This is the zone to get ready, guys. Either double or triple bottom. It's the moment to take action. Don't, forget about the nonsense of adding to the position. If you lose this low, when you see me in the long position, because you will see me in the long position, you will see me with the entrance above this low, above the recovery. You will not see me in a long position beneath this low, guys. You will not see me in a long beneath the low, ever. It's swing failure pattern or it's not. If we break down beneath this low, You will never see me in a long unless there's a naked point of control when, you know, I got into the naked point of control. But if we're talking about swing failure pattern, you're not going to see me in a long here. You will see me in a long in the bounce as you recover. I want to go with the bounce, not against the price action. When it's moving down, I wait. Just like here. I mean, there's nothing to do on this collapse when we consider longs. Whoever was long in altcoins on the drop got wrecked on Friday. Whoever had limit longs and just market longing against the big train that's going against you got wrecked. It's just, you don't want to do that. You want to try and get in when the price is bouncing and reclaiming a level, right? The fake out. You only understand it's a fake out when you're bouncing above it. So I want to get into the bounce. I'm joining the bounce, not against the price action. And that's, I think it's something very, very important to explain to the people here, because yeah, let's long, it's going to bounce, catch the falling knife, right? Which is very dangerous. It's extremely dangerous. You want the reclaim. You want to get into the bounce in a market order. Get into the bounce, not the falling knife. You want to join the move up, not the move down, right? So that's how I'm going to play this scenario here, understanding, you know, Elliot Wave theory. So what if we do not claim the lows, right? That scenario has been explained, right? We've got the ABC. That scenario has been explained, which, you know, in this case, preferably we do get another a fifth wave. We want that low to be filled on Coinbase at least. That would be the ideal scenario. What if this doesn't happen and we rally, we form a higher low, right? Let's just imagine that, hey, we did not claim the low and we formed a higher low here and we pumped. Your ABC flat 5-wave move down BS did not happen. So come with another idea. Because what if it does not happen? I prefer this scenario, to be honest. I actually prefer the lows to be claimed. Okay, so it's making it a little bit difficult for me to take a trading decision here based on a long. I've got a short plan and I got a long plan, right? As day traders and well, as traders in general, we need to be pretty neutral. And in a bull run or bear market or whatever, if we do have a range, you know, we want to be happy to have a shorting plan or a longing plan. And I was explaining this to the pro community yesterday. I don't like where we at. We just in the middle of a little range since we created this collapse. Got a dead cat bounce, move down, higher low, higher high right there. And from this range high to this range low of the dead cat bounce, I kind of don't want to participate in the middle, right? Yeah, you can get into little SFPs of the highs, of the lows. I'm just not interested, me personally. And I want to see the price action moving out of the lows of this range or the highs of the range. Then that's where some trading activities can be taken. So is it possible that we get beneath the Sunday lows and it creates a kind of a fake out and we miss claiming the low, which is also very common, right? This is what happened yesterday. We formed a cheeky local double bottom, which was an acceptable trade, I have to say. It was an acceptable trade. Local double bottom here. It wasn't acceptable. If you're waiting for the lows of the range to be claimed, the price got a $3,000 bounce, right? You could have longed down here at this double bottom. And I missed this long, guys. I have to say, I missed this long. I didn't get into this long. Not easy. But if you're thinking that this low has to be claimed, and then I'll preferably get into a long, then, sometimes the price will not take out the low and we'll get an epic rally before that. I mean, a $3,000 rally is pretty nice for a day trade on Bitcoin, right? So what if you are waiting for the lows of Friday to be claimed. And I'm not taking any long position until the wick is filled, right? I think here on the poll, let's take a look at the poll. CBM, 𝗖𝗿𝘆𝗽𝗻𝐶cie, much love to you, my man. I can see you here in the comment section. Let's go. The legends, 𝗬𝗍𝘆𝗽. Much love to you, 𝗬𝗍𝘆𝗽. If you haven't checked out 𝗬𝗍𝘆𝗽 or CBM, we have him here. How low will we go? Go and check him out, guys. Absolutely awesome content and technical analysis. Also news, data, macroeconomics. Go and check out CBM. Also 𝗬𝗍𝘆𝗽 here, the master of Elliot Wave theory as well. Double bottom are very nice, but triple bottoms are the best. Very true. We like bottoms, right? More bottoms than tops. Yeah, much love to everybody. I'll go through comment section later on, okay? Fear was in the bear market when BTC was at 15K in 2022 and they were saying 10K and 5K and all that crap. Mike, yeah. And BTC doesn't trade above 130 key by the end of trading today on the momentum oscillator. Going down to 107K minimum target. Yeah, I do think so. We could fill at 107K. Much love, Suzanne. Organism. Yeah, let's take a look at Bitcoin. Let's continue with Bitcoin here, guys. We need to talk about some day trading setups because I've been more in the swing trading mentality. I only got into a day trade last Thursday and I missed the short trade from my update in the community, which was this one right over here. Holy crap. So pissed off because I always like to leave 20-30% open to see what the price does. And man, on my own analysis update in the pro community, also I forward it to the VIP. I missed this short. Holy smacks. Macaroni, why did I miss this short? This was the short to get into. I only got into a day trade long last week, which was, I'm still happy. It was a good trade, which was here in this zone. We were talking about the potential lower high, but this got aggressive. I did not short here. It was not an easy short decision. And it was a successful day trade long. People in the community know that. And I talked about a short trade on a video update here at this zone. So, I mean, we need to take a look at day trades, regardless long or short. I talked about a long that played out. I participated in this long. I talked about a short, which I did not participate. It would have been the epic short back on Friday. So, yeah, let's just forward a few things here. And this is why, you know, regardless if we get down to the lows later on or not, I think the best, you know, internal little rally that could happen is after sweeping up the lows here of Sunday below 109.7K. I wouldn't look for an instant liquidity grab and bounce. I think it can create that kind of breakdown. And I think on Coinbase, you know, we would fill in that local low. What is interesting here about this low on Coinbase, when we go to Bybit, okay, we have the golden pocket from the wick low to the range highs, which is interesting, right? I mean, we need to consider the futures exchange as well based on Confluence. And that it's an interesting area. It's an area that I would be golden pocket on Bybit from wick low to the highs is exactly where the lows on Coinbase is, right? Or spot exchanges, which is making it an interesting zone. When you do take a look at, you know, the previous month, previous year levels, it's also where we have the previous month low of September. You have the previous year high. The high of 2024 was 108K. So yes, dip down beneath this low, potentially fill the Coinbase low, but it's just a very interesting area because I think a lot of people are looking at the lows on futures to be claimed, 101, 102K, And I think there is the potential that we do not fill the wick down on futures. And we talked about this yesterday based on looking at the price action that we had in 2023. So in a nutshell, the 107K, which is the golden pocket from the low to the high, and you have the previous month low, previous month open, previous year high of 2024, is an interesting area to actually form a higher low. I like this area for a higher low after dipping below Sunday lows. So I'm not looking for an instant double bottom here locally. I would like the movement down to fill the wick from Friday on Coinbase, but not fill it on the futures exchange. Okay, so this becomes an extremely interesting area. And when we do take a look at the, how the market behaves when we do have that data of these major liquidation events, right? And we go back to 2023 when we had this range. This is the wick that we had that was not filled on future exchanges such as Bybit. Big major drop, sweeping up the lows of the range, which is similar to what happened on Bitcoin. But this movement down did not fill the wick on futures. It was halfway through, right? So it's going to be an interesting moment to take a decision. 107K, give or take 106K, right? When we do take a look at Coinbase, as mentioned, that epic drop that we had back in August of 2023, hear me out here. We talked about this yesterday, but for anybody that's new, it's just interesting, right? In a major liquidation event, such as the one that happened in August of 2023, this was a big move, guys. $5,000 almost in 24 hours, which it was a big deal when Bitcoin was just at $30,000. It was a big deal of a move here. I remember this. Of course, on futures, yeah, you get that extra wick to liquidate more stop losses that are beneath this low. So on Bybit, we did not fill the entire wick, but on Coinbase, we did test the lows eventually, right? The lows were tested. That's when the reversal happened. But on futures, we did not come down to the lows. And this is a complete reset of the market, guys. The Friday move down wiped out most of any long people that were longing, right? It wiped out everybody that was looking for leverage long. People are scared right now. I'm even scared, right? It's a complete wipeout when you have this kind of, event. So is there a reason that we fill the wick on Bybit? No, I mean, it did not fill it here. You might think that this is a different stage of the market. We're close to the top of the bull run, or maybe it is the top. This was the beginning stages of the bull run. It's a different moment in time. We're just talking about this local range, okay? And as mentioned, there is still high probability on Bitcoin on higher time frame based on the information that we have to hit all-time high, okay? Based on what we're talking about. So, yeah, that's just interesting to take a look at this. We did not fill the wick on Bybit. I think there is a chance that we do not fill it, right? We can't be certain always, guys. There's going to be some levels to take some decisions, and the level that I want to take a decision is 107K. I'm not going to play silly money. I'm going all in here. I'm going to add to the position if we go low in any of that nonsense. Don't do any of that, because if you do that, you'll get wrecked, as Friday's price action, right, demonstrated. The market's not going to do what it wants always, right? You need to play this game responsibly, because a lot of people will get hurt. That's an interesting take, guys. Okay, just to let you know, right? We have, I think there is a good chance that we probably do not fill the wick on futures at 102K, just like we did in August of 2023. That's my personal opinion. I will play the safe game. I have good risk management. And the most interesting area, without a doubt, is 107K to fill that low on Coinbase. And when we take a look at Elliot Wave theory, you know, it would make sense to create that fifth wave down, and with the potential of creating another one. Okay, double or triple bottom, filling the low of Coinbase on spot exchanges at 107K is what I'm looking at when we consider a swing trade projection here to climb up in the next coming weeks. I'm literally sharing the plan that I'm looking at here. Okay, Lana, let's talk about the okay, what happens if it does not do that? What happens if we do not come down here and we suddenly form a higher low and we do not fill the wick, not even on spot exchanges? What are you going to say about that? What is your other scenario based on that? Well, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Now, as we are speculating right now with the information that we have, that this is potentially an impulsive move down. We're just busy with the fourth wave. Fifth wave needs to be created, which is actually getting below the low here on Coinbase, right? On spot exchanges. You kind of need to wait for that scenario to happen, basically, right? If you want to go full on swing long. But what if we do reverse from here? It forms a higher low and it just gets above this level. I have to say, I'm kind of interested in a possible short day trade, SFPing from these highs. Of course, nobody wants to short when the price is breaking out a major high, just the same as nobody wants to long when we have such an aggressive move down here after testing a major low. It's breaking down. Well, guess what? Massive rally, right? So eventually it's one of those moments that you're like, oof, it's breaking out. It's looking strong till it rolls over back in, right? So it's an interesting area because we do have the point of control of the entire range. I mean, I like to take a look at volume on Bybit. I like to take a look at volume on Bybit. Point of control is just $1,000 above the recent highs here. Round about $1,000. Let me just get the fixed volume profile here ready for you. I don't think we're going to break. Oh my goodness, what's going on? Fixed volume profile. Come on, what? Wait. Oh wow. Something is not working here with the mouse. Are you serious? Hang on a minute. Tradingview is playing games with me. Oh my God. Bear with me here, guys. I'm really having an issue with Tradingview lately. There we go. We got it. We got it. Yeah, this zone above the recent highs that were formed on on Monday at 116K. I think it's a very good fakey out zone. I'm actually interested in potentially looking for a day trade short here, just to get a little reversal, like a fake out from these local highs. Point of control was a major barrier back in September. Okay, we got a big rejection at 118K here, and we do have the anchored VWAP as well from all-time high, which is coming in slightly lower from that point of control. However, it's a zone that I want to take a decision. Of course, what we need to see here is lots of longs getting in, right? I want to see on this breakout, CVD divergence, bearish CVD divergence. I want to see the CVD going absolutely ballistic, right? If we get above this high, I want to see lots of longs entering. I want to see the CVD spiking up throughout all exchanges, people going aggressively long on the breakout. And of course, taking a look at order flow as well, just to see 10, 20, 30 million longs entering on that movement up, which eventually what we're looking at is to trap those longs, right? Trap those longs as we break above, okay, the recent highs from Monday, above 116K, with the potential of hitting 117 or maybe 118, which is actually the point of control. But this is a peaking zone without a doubt. And it's super important to get CVD really spiking up, where you realize that there's lots of longs entering here, eventually just to trap them, right? And liquidate them. And you want to be part of liquidating all of those people, right? You want their money in your pocket. So that's what we want to try and figure out here on the fake out from the range highs of Monday. So I mean, it's an intraday scenario, right? I'm just looking for a movement of give or take $2,000, $3,000, maybe $4,000. But I do see this area as a rejection zone. But we need a lot of data to take a look at as we break that zone, and pay attention to the 5-minute, 15-minute time frame, and figure out what wave we are in. Are there lots of longs entering? That's good. We're creating liquidity to the downside. So we'll be paying attention to that in the pro community and the VIP, and I'll let the people know if I'm entering into that trade or not. So if you are interested in that, guys, it's super simple to join the VIP. Pro community, you got more education, more updates, more you can post. We've got a great community that are sharing stuff every single day there. For the community, it's the link in the middle. Join the community on Telegram, okay? You have the link here. Join the Legends Trading community if you want to join. If you want to join the VIP, it's super simple. You got bluffing or weeks. I mean, my preferred one is bluffing at the moment. Bluffing is absolutely awesome. You got you deposit and trade to win an iPhone 17 as well. That's the campaign that they do have at the moment. And if you do a minimum deposit, you can join the VIP. Send me a DM down below on the first link if you want to join the VIP, which I share, what I'm looking at and where I'm looking to enter the trades. So, I mean, this is what we're looking at here currently, guys. Sweep of the lows, potentially not filling the wick on futures, but filling them on spot, such as Coinbase, right? For the potential bounce, 107K zone is going to be a crucial area. When we do take a look at the liquidity, well, eventually, most of the liquidity is sitting at 108K, right? So, yeah, it's without a doubt, a scenario. I mean, this wick down is coming all the way down to 100 and 100 and below there, 101. Yeah, this is pretty crazy. I think there's not much liquidity below 102K, guys. You can see it here on the liquidity heat map, but there is a lot below 109K, all the way down to 107K. So there's no reason based on liquidity to go much, much lower, which is also interesting data that we need to take into consideration here. The VIP, you just need to sign up to one of the exchanges. Bluffing or Weeks, they both got great deals and bonuses. You do a minimum deposit, which I will, I can get that information to you once you send me a DM on Telegram, okay? Minimum deposit so you can use it to trade with, and we'll get you into the VIP community. So that's interesting data about the liquidity. Liquidity, there's still lots beneath the lows of Sunday. And yeah, I think obviously, that's an interesting area to bounce as explained here based on the wicks. I don't think there's a good chance that we don't fill the wick entirely on futures, guys. I mean, this has gone out of proportion. It's the same on 2023. We did not fill that wick, but we did fill it on the spot exchanges such as Coinbase, right? Just an interesting moment in time to say, well, this, you know, in these liquidation events, what happens, what has happened? Well, the first one that we have clearly was the 2023 major liquidation drop from August, just to see the comparison between futures and spot. So interesting zones. I want to get out. I'm thinking out of the box, out of the range highs and range lows. Pay attention here to see what happens. I don't want to get into an aggressive falling knife. And obviously the range highs is looking interesting for the fake out. Lots of confluence, point of control of the entire range, anchored VWAP. I want to see longs entering the market. I want to see longs piling up after breaking above 116k, so we can trap them and eat their liquidity. So yeah, it's going to be a moment of taking decisions. I will be analyzing the 5-minute, 15-minute time frame Elliot Wave scenarios to see if it makes sense to this range to top out, and that's super important. Elliot Wave does give you that edge on the 15-minute, 5-minute time frame. It gives you that edge. When we were breaking out here in this area, we were breaking out with high amount of volume. And I was saying to a lot of people, I am not shorting, right? You do whatever you want, but I'm not shorting here because we're breaking with a higher amount of volume. There's no shorts to be taken here, guys. We're breaking out and it's looking powerful. No shorts taken throughout this rally. If you have high volume breaking out more than the previous pump, you have the potential that you're still in the third wave, that you are extending, and you just need to sit on your hands. This was the case back then. I mean, these volume movements look very low, obviously, now with this one. But we had an increasing volume breaking out. So it's super important to understand, if you break out from these highs and you're still breaking out and you have increasing volume, we won't be paying attention to the 5-minute, 15-minute time frame to take the decision on the short. It's not an easy game, guys. It's all about taking the decision. It's a good level where I'm interested in potentially taking a trade short. This is interesting for a short. This is interesting for a long. But does that mean that I put a limit order and I go to bed and wake up tomorrow morning and hope for the best? If you did that on Friday, then you know what happened, right? It's not how we trade, guys. Trading is not just put a limit order at this support, go out, have dinner, let's see what happens tomorrow, right? If you do that, you're just going to drain your account. So yeah, let's talk about the other scenarios here. I'm going a little bit slow, guys. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit slow here today. We still got a few scenarios to talk about. My God. Muy lento. Hoy es un día que, madre mía, estoy un poco espeso, un poco lento, muy loco. Let's go through, let's just imagine right now. So I'm really not interested in this little range where we're at right now, guys. Just, we can claim the highs or claim the lows. I prefer the lows. I'm in favor of moving lower, guys. Okay, I am in favor of moving lower, just so you know. You always have to have a preferred scenario, right? Well, I prefer actually filling the lows here on Coinbase, okay, on spot. Let's just imagine, though, and I've explained the trading plan, okay, as well. Double or triple bottom. That's what I'm going to be looking for. What if the price forms a higher low and gets a reversal here, right? You do not claim the lows on spot at 107k and it reverses. I missed the long. Screw you. I hate you. It's actually going to be very bullish. Even though if I'm interested in a short at 116 to 118k zone, depending on the CVD delta, as we do hit the anchored VWAP and the point of control of the range since July, it's going to be very bullish. The main reason why that's going to be bullish, because this movement down will be completed. The possibility of forming a wave 4 and a 5 and a 4 and a 5 will be eliminated as we have overlapped the golden pocket, potentially getting close to 119, these lows right over here. It will mean that this movement down is finished. It's a finished move. It's a finished wave, and we have a new fresh wave on the development. Now, as we do know that we have a zigzag move down here in a double zigzag or an ABC, in this case, preferably an ABC. There's a very valid ABC count here, zigzag. And we have another large zigzag move up here. Well, we need to give the possibility of this being a wave W, and this is zigzag up in a wave X, and now the wave Y. The wave Y, for this to be a WXY, the probabilities will increase as soon as we cross 117, 118K zone. This area right over here, basically get above the golden pocket from the recent lower highs to the low. Once you get into this green box territory, which is in between 116, 117, let's go a little bit higher, and 119K, once price gets into this area, then this is the scenario that is left. WXY, which eventually we are looking at the highest probability to get to all-time high, would only have two scenarios left here, which is either forming a triangle for a few weeks, right? This would turn into a double zigzag, and then zigzag down, zigzag up, zigzag down. You're looking for a triangle structure here, potentially to be on the formation. We need five waves here. We need 5 peaks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? We got the first one here, right? Because this would be a zigzag. This would be a 3-wave structure. It's going to take a bit of time. This would potentially take another 1 to 2 weeks to develop. The most bullish case scenario would be, I just don't see it. This movement down has been so aggressive. Obviously a Y wave inside of a sideways WXY, you can have a flat. However, just because this major event has been so aggressive, I don't see the Y wave making a flat here. You need to get above at least the 0.9 Fibonacci. Which is, really, getting to 122K. I mean, it is possible eventually, but, you would have to see a major rally here, because you already got a zigzag up. You got a 3-wave up. You're going to have a lot of power here to form another zigzag here, a double zigzag up here to create your wave B. And then, maybe the potential of coming down to the lows again, form a C wave to form your Y. I know it sounds silly, guys, but it's you need to take these scenarios into consideration, right? The movement down to 107K last week seemed silly, right? This move down from all-time high seemed silly, right? It's so bullish. We're going to 128K next. Screw your bearish case. Come on, it's bullish. We're going up. It sounds silly, all of these different movements, guys, but it's how the market moves. We need to realize the different projections that we have. And damn, I mean, this moved fast, right? Staircase up, elevator down, they say. Well, yeah. We did get the max speed elevator on Friday. So yeah, anyway, the moment we get above 17K, we're looking at a WXY. Probabilities will increase that, we're looking at all-time high. I prefer the triangle. I'm not sure if we're going to get a very steep double zigzag here. We're just going to have to see. But this is getting above this high. I'm interested in an intraday short. Getting beneath this low, I am, coming down to the Coinbase lows, spot lows at 107k. I'm interested in the double bottom. I'm looking for intraday short, looking for swing longs down here. And then we're going to have to see what happens throughout the next week. You got the flat, which I think is very difficult for this to happen, in a large consolidation. Continue the range for the next 1 to 2 weeks is very possible to form that triangle in your Y wave. Ultimately, we're looking for all-time highs, potentially entering into November, maybe December, maybe end of October. That would be relatively fast. I think it's not going to happen by the end of October, but still looking for all-time high based on the information that we have on the chart, guys. It's going to be choppy. It's going to be messy. We can test the lows at 107k. People are going to get emotional. People are going to be calling for bear market. People are going to be calling for more highs. Trade the levels. Trade your plan. And be responsible, guys, with your capital when you're leverage trading. Much love. 𝗬𝗍𝗍𝗽. Ethereum 4,500. 4,500 for Ethereum. Yeah, I do see Ethereum going to all-time high, I personally think. Thank you very much, guys, for joining and smashing the like button. It is time for comment section right now. Much love to everybody. Thanks for joining. 200 likes, guys? No way. We were 600 people just a few minutes ago. 200 likes? You serious? No way. Over an hour live stream with hundreds of people here watching. 200 likes? You gotta be joking, guys. You must be joking. Suzanne, much love to you. I'm gonna go through the comment section right now, but I need a little bit of hype. I need a bit of hype on the like button, guys. You know, I'm sharing the scenarios and the probabilities and levels of interest. I don't even get like button. Yeah, we've got 40 people leaving because they don't want to smash the like button. Well, piss off then. Only joking, guys. Just for the ones that are left. Just for the ones that left only, guys. I don't want to be rude. I want to be kind to the people in the community, especially the ones that are still here. I didn't want to be rude, okay? I love you guys to bits. Much love. Can we take a look at the 15-minute time frame, says 𝗬𝗍𝗍𝗽, where we have the action, right? Intraday setups. Suzanne, much love. Mike, people are shorting the likes. Yes, they are. Bruno, thanks for the like button, my man. Much love to you. Sorry, forgot, but hit now. Steve Powell, much love. We are too interested in the TA, not time for a like button. Brian, thank you very much. That means you enjoy it. That means you enjoy it. Somebody's saying here, can we take a look at the 15-minute time frame? Let's go, let's go. So, yeah, here, there's no signs that the top is in, even though we had this major dump. I know it looks like that this is the first few whales that are dumping their Bitcoin. You want to sell at all-time high, guys. I sold 15%. And now you might think, why didn't you sell more? I could buy, you know, Bitcoin 10% cheaper right now. We need to scale out at some, you know, I'm happy, right? I'm happy I sold 15%, around about 125k zone. Everybody's in profit at all-time high. Everybody's in profit, guys. Remember that always. When you hit all-time high, everybody's in profit. Who's going to be the first ones? Who are going to be the last ones to take profit? Or are they going to hold a bear market? It ain't going to be me. I'm getting out a little bit, guys. I sold a few Bitcoin here. I'm happy I did, right? I'm happy. I'm unhappy I didn't sell more. But we can't time the exact top. I'm actually looking for all-time highs, so you kind of need to scale out, right? Buy on the way down, DCA in, DCA out at all-time high. I've sold 25% total of my Bitcoin that I've bought throughout the last few years. 5% at 90K, 5% at 100K, and 15% at 125K zone. So you need to scale out. Let's do the 15-minute time frame here for the legends. Thank you for smashing up the like button, guys, and sticking around. Let me just quickly go through the comment section. Anything to talk about on the 15-minute time frame? Whew. I like these cheeky lower highs. This is kind of bullish. Oh, a cheeky lower high right there. When you create these cheeky lower highs, when you're so close, this does look very, very corrective price action, I have to say. Let's take a look at the session volume profile and see where we're at here based on previous value levels. You know what? Maybe before claiming these lows of yesterday and Sunday, right? I think it's a target for the bears. There's no doubt about it. This is a take profit zone for the bears. It's a stop loss level also for the longs, right? But we are coming into value area low from yesterday, which is the golden pocket, right? From the low to the high of yesterday and today. And let's see if we do have some bullish CVD divergence here, because it could be a little interesting long position maybe, right? We want to long the dips, right? But where do we long? That is the question. Interesting bullish CVDs throughout Bybit and the rest of exchanges. Bybit US dollar tether. So we do have some selling pressure coming in here. And we got some higher lows on the price action. Let's take a look at the order flow. Not massive amount of shorts, but there's actually some pretty interesting shorts here entering on Bybit at the 111.9K. Quite some interesting shorts coming in here. We've got a bit of longs. We don't want longs entering here. Interesting confluence area, I have to say. Interesting level of confluence. You have the previous day value area low. Coming into golden pocket. Golden pocket not quite hit yet. Preferably, you know what? Looking at the 15-minute, anybody that's interested in an intraday setup, sweeping up this higher low right there could be an interesting take. Just slightly below the golden pocket. 111.2K. That would be interesting. Value area low from yesterday. Sweep that higher low. Golden pocket. Could be an interesting bounce. This price action looks pretty corrective, if you ask me. All of this nonsense right over here. This very, very shallow lower high, almost taking out this high. This could be a very corrective structure. You're probably having a flat here, running flat, another flat here, WXY structure. There is the potential of bouncing in this region. I would prefer an SFP of that low. Get down beneath the golden pocket. I would remain patient. It's either wait patiently and miss the trade, or create the SFP, enter the long, and have a stop loss on the fake out low of previous day value area low, right? I am a patient trader. I would rather miss the trade if it bounces from here. I miss trades all the time, but I know the best levels, right? And the best level would be an SFP from this low. So tap the level, reclaim it, stop loss beneath the low, give or take a bit of room, a couple of $100. It's a good area to bounce. We do have bullish CVD divergence, higher lows on price action from yesterday's lows. It's an interesting level to bounce. And obviously your target zone would be claiming the recent highs of today at 113.6. It is a bouncing area, guys. It is a bouncing zone. You've swept the lows of today's of this range. Preferably we get down to golden pocket, which is just a few $100s away. Do you want to take the chance now? Risk 1%? Maybe add 1% if you get the SFP. Stop loss, give or take, bit of room. It's all about decisions here. It's all about taking the action, right? Interesting level. Very, very corrective price action that we formed throughout today. I have to say. Very interesting, very interesting. I would prefer to see if we get that SFP. We might get a sniper long here. I would prefer... Yeah, this has the potential forming that boom, boom, bang. You know, this is the first target. Sweep up these highs. Let's see. I'm going to set alerts here. At the low. Oh man, my Tradingview is not playing games. Would be nice. We've got some pretty interesting bullish CVDs happening here. And I know it's like, I don't know, man. I think the lows are going to be claimed. Maybe they do. Maybe it breaks down. Maybe it breaks down and we actually get down to the lows. But it's a moment to take action. Are you going to take the decision for this possibility? We need the SFP. We need the reaction. If it breaks down, then eventually beneath this level, I'm not interested. We're probably going to claim these lows, right? But it's good support. Good support. Let's see. Let's go through the comment section. Say hello to the rest of the people on monthly. Is it just me or is there a triple bearish divergence on BTC? Triple bearish divergence. Wow. On the monthly, triple bearish. Keep shorting. Short it. Shorting, please. Short it. Okay, man. Calm down. Short or long? Yeah, that's the question that I make myself every day. Do we short or do we go short? This is an interesting level to get a bounce, okay? Based on confluence. That previous day value area low. Golden pocket. We do have bullish CVD divergence. Lots of shorts entering here in the last couple of hours on Bybit, which is, it seems like it's getting absorbed. Rest of exchanges are also shorting here quite a lot. Some nice shorts entering in the last few hours, which is not pushing the price down beneath the recent low of yesterday, which is possibly some absorption going on here that will just bang, claim those highs. Muy interesante. I'm waiting. I got an alert, guys. This is a patient game. I would like to that higher low to be claimed. I would like to at least get down to the golden pocket. And that's what I would be looking for here, legends. Okay. You know what? If we take Fibonacci from the wick low on Bybit to the range highs, guess where we bounced? Golden pocket, guys, the most respected Fibonacci. Wick low from Bybit at 107K on Coinbase, sorry. To the highs of Monday, right? Because that's the dead cat bounce high. Where we bounced yesterday is actually the golden pocket. Will this mini golden pocket bounce with bullish CVDs? We're probably about to find out. Possible scalp. We need a good reaction here. Could be some absorption happening here. Lots of shorts entering. I like it. Looks good. Boy, oh boy, Staffer one. Schlong, let's schlong it. I'm CoinM, so I don't care if we go down. Very good, very good. Mods, please ban the spammers. Yeah, spammers always like to, you know, I was going to swear there, but we don't swear here on stream. On Bybit, we went to 102K. Yeah, we are very much aware. We've been the first hour of the stream discussing the futures lows and the spot lows, okay? So this is why we're doing a little bit of analysis on both. I like Bybit for major levels on volume profile, naked point of controls, and Coinbase, spot exchanges. Coinbase, of course, being the largest one in US, more reliable based on, you know, looking at Elliot Wave theory. Because on futures, unfortunately, on Friday, we got an extra wick of $5,000, right? What can we do? What can we do about it? You know, it's just, this is why we did take a look on stream at the 2023 wick, okay, from August, which was filled on spot exchanges, the low that was created at 25K, but it wasn't filled on futures such as Bybit. So things that we need to take into consideration, right? Not even funny. No trade for me yet, says 𝗬𝗍𝘆, the legend himself. Go and check out 𝗬𝗍𝘆, guys. He does post live streams every other day, almost every day on YouTube. Check him out, guys. Go and subscribe to 𝗬𝗍𝘆. He is a coach in the Legends trading community. He does provide a lot of love and attention to the community, right? Awesome trader, awesome analyst. 𝗬𝗍𝘆 himself here in the comment section. Shout out to you, 𝗬𝗍𝘆. 𝗬𝗍𝘆, what do you think? We're claiming the lows first. V-shape on Ethereum. Lol, keep shorting. Nobody's shorting. Nobody's shorting. V-shape recovery on Ethereum. We got this guy who's we talked about Ethereum. We mentioned Ethereum on yesterday's stream. Highly bullish on Ethereum. Likely we hit all-time high. Likely that, in my personal opinion, we do not get below 3,200. Okay, likely that we are developing a complex fourth wave corrective structure. All of this retracement from all-time high looks extremely corrective, especially with this spike up after this three-wave down. Very, very, very bullish corrective structure happening here since all-time high of August on Ethereum. Okay, so it's looking very good. What's this guy talking about? Keep shorting Ethereum. V-shaped recovery. Hey, Andy, good work, man. Keep it up. Thank you very much, Tramesh. Thank you very much for that. Much love to everybody. Longers never learned. Longers never learned. Well, that was on Friday, right? Yeah, I did get stopped out, guys, on a trade on ICP. There's no sugarcoating on that, but lost $15,000. But I was happy. I was not happy, of course, about it. But Moon Carl calling for a diamond pattern. Long it. Diamond pattern. Diamond pattern. Diamond pattern. Where? What time frame? Diamond top pattern, I guess, right? Long it, if you're saying. Not diamond bottom. Let's zoom out here. Diamond pattern. I used to like diamond patterns. Not that I say it's a tradable pattern, but it's entertaining. Diamond. Okay, hang on a minute. So I guess maybe this. Oh, maybe this. Maybe we're in the middle of the pattern. Yeah, we're literally in the middle of the diamond, right? I would assume it's this one. If you say long it, going against yeah, I don't see a diamond bottom pattern. It would have to be a higher time frame diamond top pattern where the biggest movement is in the middle, which is the one from Friday, and we're still developing the top, right? I assume it would be something like this, right? We don't take these patterns into consideration for any trading setups. I assume it would be something like this that he's probably looking at. We're still the biggest move from Friday, slightly higher highs, slightly lower lows, and we're still halfway through. We still have several weeks to develop this. Yeah, we're not taking this into consideration. We're actually quite bullish based on corrective price action. We still have this being highly likely being corrective since this all-time high. So Ethereum looks bullish. So yeah, I'm not sure if you're probably talking about, I can actually check it, but there's no diamond bottom pattern here, so I assume it would be that one, which we are still halfway through. Andy, love you, brother. God bless you. Ramon Anderson, much love to you, my man. Much love. Andy, I see you have a lot of lag in TradingView. Any reason you don't use the app instead of the browser? I just need to clear history. Yeah, my TradingView is clogged, but I will fix that. I know how to fix that, but I just have been a little bit lazy in doing it. But yeah, TradingView is a bit laggy. I need to clear cache and history, and it will work better once it does that. Lower, says Jenna. Maybe yes. Don't you think after a 5 wave move down, there will be a risk of a 3rd wave retracement and then bear market? Yeah, Blazing Fury. That is, well, because we don't have all that. We just hit the golden pocket here, guys. Possible bounce to the range highs. I mean, it would have been nice to sweep those lows. We've got some bullish CVDs. It is a bouncing area for Bitcoin. There's no doubt about it. At least to range highs. Not sure if anybody catch that movement down. Just about hitting golden pocket. We do have some pretty epic bullish CVDs, guys, here. So maybe somebody sniped the golden pocket with the previous day valley area low. I would have preferred that low to be swept. You need to take action though. Golden pocket was hit. Golden pocket got a bounce of $500 right now. Might come back down. You need to be a little bit of a sniper, guys. Be defensive. Enter market order. Bang. Protect position. If you reclaim it, look for a local double bottom. Bang, bang, right? You need to be in front of the chart to take these actions, but there is a good chance that we could bounce from here, guys, at golden pocket and the previous day value area low, just because we do have bullish CVDs and the target is the highs. So yeah, might be some absorption here and a little consolidation at this range. Anyway, somebody was saying about am I not worried about the possibility of this being a 5-wave move down? Let's go through that comment. Do we have a leading diagonal in a corrective wave A from 102 to 115.8? And the first 1, 2, 3, now we're in the second and third wave movement. No, I mentioned the higher time frame Elliot Wave theory that I think we're very likely in a little bit throughout the beginning of the stream, first 30 minutes. Make sure to go and check that out. Let's go right away through that comment that somebody asked. It's getting lost here. Andy, even though I lost everything, as I said before, your streams motivate me to keep going, man. Thanks for being here every day. Much love. 𝗖𝗿𝘆𝗽𝗁 man. Oh my god, I actually feel bad. Man. A lot of people got caught on that Friday drop, okay? I only had one altcoin long position. which was ICP. You guys know that. I did a video saying, guys, I got stopped out from this ICP, lost $15,000. My spot bag is down aggressively, but I'm well diversified. I'm very careful. I accept the loss on ICP, and I just know that a lot of people do irresponsible trading, and lots of people must have put limit longs everywhere. And even with a 2x leverage on cross margin, you had no chance to survive what happened on Friday, guys. No, this is a macro worldwide extreme liquidation event, and hundreds of thousands of people have, lost everything. If they were doing extreme leverage and they had everything in their trading account, and we do not want to trade like that, guys. We do not want to trade like that. So yeah, shout out to you, my man. Shout out to you. You will recover, okay? I'm sure you're feeling much better now, right? This is the kind of event that you wake up on Saturday, you're feeling like crap on Saturday, potentially on Sunday as well, but you start feeling better, right? It's not the end of the world. Money goes and money comes back. You feel better day by day, right? So I hope that motivates you, and stay strong. Stay strong. You know what not to do next, right? People, I think it's a good learning lesson, right? Friday's drop is a good learning lesson. Am I ever going to put limit longs beneath higher lows to get a better entry for my epic swing long for Q4 of this major altcoin season that is coming? Well, I think not, right? Next time you're probably not going to put limit longs, not have any stop losses. Lesson learned, right? Lesson learned. Anyway, I was going through a comment section that I missed here. Andy, the Russell 2000 predicted BTC crash on Friday. Did the Russell 2000 predict the crash on Friday? I'm not sure. I haven't checked the Russell 2000 in a long time. I checked the S&P 500, but didn't check the Russell 2000. 72k loss on perps for me, says Crypto Cowboy. I get you, man. Stay strong. I mean, yeah, I mean, this is the thing. There's a very big loss. It would be a very big loss for me if I lost $72,000. But I have very good risk management. If we have any of these events, I'll just get stopped out of a trade and move on. But yeah, lots of people got hurt here with this Friday drop. It's inevitable. Tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people that do not have proper risk management got wiped out, which is very sad, very, very sad. Blazing Fury, stop with the spamming. If not, you're going to get kicked out by my man here, Staffer1. Anyway, somebody was saying about, am I not worried about a bear market? I mean, to be confident that we are potentially going to see a bear market, as explained, we need to see a solid impulsive move down, first of all, which in this case, we have the possibility of this being a C wave, which is still good. Testing the lows on Coinbase. I mean, like I mentioned, I'm very interested in a double triple bottom here. This would look like a classic impulsive move down. You have wave 3 with the highest move and the biggest amount of volume. Possibility of a double 1-2 here. And a 4-5-4-5. Eventually, if this bounce is not going to be solid, and by solid, what I want this bounce to do is a massive recovery, corrective price action, and a next big massive rally in a wave 3 to really start, something similar to this price action, right? Man, my trading view is lagging here like crazy. then obviously that's what I would expect. Big recovery. But if you do bounce from here and you chop around, you retrace, you get another bounce and you retrace even more, and it looks very choppy and corrective, holy smokes, guys, we're going to be a little bit on alert if we could get this kind of price action after sweeping the lows here. If it is very choppy bounce, then we realize that the lows are likely going to be claimed. So we'll go level by level. But yeah, I would start to be in doubt of this being the high. For the moment, we need more information. For the moment, it's still looking good. It's still looking bullish. And we're good to go. I tripled my account, longed AVAX at $8. Absolutely awesome. That's great. Good news. Good stuff. Yeah, some people. Why your screen is so laggy? Yeah, I need to clear my TradingView history. Got too much stuff going on, so we're not going to do more TA. Unfortunately, it's just clogged. I'll clean it up. Okay, it does happen once or twice a year. I just need a clear history on TradingView. It just gets clogged, which is I just haven't done it, and I need to do it today with immediate action. Anyway, legends, thank you very much for joining. Okay, I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to walk my dogs, see my family, go out for dinner, stay safe, trade safe. Remember that you got great bonuses down below, only for responsible traders. Okay, you got Bluffin Weeks. Bluffin's got a great campaign right now, which you can even win an iPhone 7 and even an Omega Globe Master. Depending on the volume that you move, you are eligible to take that. And you have access to the VIP if you do a minimum deposit, where I'm sharing my insights and where I'm looking for some setups, okay? Which is send me a DM down below and we'll hop you into the VIP. I am looking for positions. Ethereum's looking very juicy. Bitcoin's looking okay on the higher time frame. And yeah, I'm just sharing every day what I'm looking at here. Thank you, legends, for joining and smashing up the like button. Over 300 likes. That's not too bad. Much love to everybody. Trade safe. Have a great evening. And for anybody that got hurt here with the crash of Friday, you'll get over it stronger than ever. Much love, and I'll see you in the next one.